All right, this video is what I think about Donald Trump and The Apprentice. This is like the reality show that I really like. I really enjoy watching Donald Trump, The Apprentice. Um, there's another reality show that I enjoy that I saw one episode of, Survivor, and that's what's kind of interesting. But Donald Trump's The Apprentice is really good because, and I respect Donald Trump because he's one of these people who is very rare, I think, who really loves to explain his idea of stuff and like disseminate it. He's like a teacher. He likes to get up there and totally show what he thinks to try to make the world a better place, make people live better lives, and all that. It's really cool. But the show itself is ingenious. They get teams of people to go and try and do something and make a certain amount of money on something, and then they have the people who they like, and they're really doing it for some real company, and then they have the company decide like which team they liked better, or like whatever team made the most amount of money on something, and then he has to fire somebody who the one of the people on the team that failed, and so they go in the boardroom and they like have the people like what happened, and so they always go against each other like, oh, but he didn't listen to me, he didn't do that, so you get to really learn about group dynamics and what. And you also, while you're watching people do the project, you get to go, oh wait, why didn't you do that? Oh, you should have done that. And I think it's great for school, for business. It's awesome. Teaches people how to work in groups in a good way. Teaches people how to be efficient and do stuff that works. And also how to defend yourself. A lot of people don't know how to defend themselves, defend their actions. So people fight all the time in the boardroom, like, no, you should have done that. No, you should have. And it's interesting. It's entertaining to watch, and there's always people who you like to root for and you like more, and people who you don't like. I was really into. I watched like a few episodes of The Apprentice a few years ago, but I really liked. Actually, the only ones that I saw were Celebrity Apprentice. I like Celebrity Apprentice because, the celebrities are just funner to watch because they take it less seriously. But it was kind of annoying how the only task really it was important in a lot of them was just how much money they could raise. Like they just like call people and ask for money and like, hey, which kind of made it fake. But then the celebrities didn't really go yell at each other as much as the other people, I don't think, which is cool. But yeah, I don't think I'd want Donald Trump to be the president though. Didn't he run for president a few times ago? I don't think he'd be a good president though. There's some things that I don't agree with him, like Pierce, what's his name, on the first Celebrity Apprentice got that Vinny guy or whatever from The Sopranos to like pretend that he got kicked out of the men's team and then he went into the women's team to do espionage and then spy and then give the men information on what they were doing. And then when the boardroom, the men lost and that Vinny guy like quit. But Donald Trump didn't say anything about how that was a bad thing to do. Like if you want to be a teacher of business, he should have fired the Pierce whose idea it was to spy. If you spy, and you do, that's like unethical. So he's kind of like encouraging that. And another thing that Donald Trump did that I didn't like was on the season 2, they had Annie, the poker player, Brandy, the Playboy playmate, and then Melissa Rivers working on a project, and the girls lost, so she had to fire somebody. But like it was obvious that, and Brandy was the leader, but she wasn't so smart, and she was being toyed with by Annie. And it was obvious that they were in cahoots, and they were totally shutting out Melissa Rivers. And Melissa Rivers was like, let me do the presentation. I'm a professional presenter. And they were like, no, Annie's like, no, I can do it. And then in the boardroom, they're like, oh, but we didn't have time to do this. We didn't have time to do that. And Melissa's like, well, they didn't let me do anything. And they didn't let me do the presentation. If she didn't do the presentation, she would have been able to have more time to do this other thing. And so it was obviously they were cutting her out. And anyway, Donald Trump fires Melissa Rivers, which pissed me off because it was like he was supporting cold shouldering somebody, third wheeling somebody. And that kind of behavior is like despicable to me. I hate it when I hate it when people do that. Like, like they were obviously like refusing to talk to somebody. No, we don't want to, it's like junior high kid behavior. And he's there like tolerating that. So yeah, Donald Trump, it's great. He likes to be a teacher and stuff, but his common sense isn't there. He's not dealing with a full deck of cards. But he's definitely a lot cooler than that other guy, the English guy, because I was like, oh, cool, let me check out. They have English Apprentice. Oh my God, English Apprentice sucks. That guy is the biggest dick. That like millionaire guy, he's just an asshole, man. He likes to like try to make the people who are on his show feel like idiots. He yells at them. He's got this grumpy look, and they were also doing the same thing. These kids like were in like Libya trying to, or Morocco or Tunisia trying to pay like some people to like sabotage the other team, and they lost. And he kind of reprimanded him a little bit, but was like, "Oh, you're young, don't worry about it." But I mean, that kind of shows that, so when he was young, he did that kind of stuff. Like, that's kind of like encouraging sabotage right on national TV. And that's wrong. So it kind of shows that Donald Trump and this English guy, like the top cream of the crop for these business people, think that unethical behavior is fine. So that kind of bugged me. But anyways, I'm really entertained by the Apprentice. There's some other firings that I didn't agree with that Donald Trump did. Like he should have fired Dennis Rodman when he fired Tom Green, even though Tom Green wasn't exactly doing a good job. But but anyway, yeah, it's really interesting. And then they threw loops in there to make the stuff difficult, and so. Yeah, I love reality shows like that. I know there have been some knockoffs that haven't been good. I just think uh, Donald Trump has a really great presence. He really, his formula is really good. Like what would like delegating, like trying to get the other people to help him decide, like, well, who would you fire and why? And it's really great. I think like that any business school, somebody who wants to learn business or should watch that show. I think that show's going to be on for a long time, and when Donald Trump retires, it's going to be hard to find a replacement who's going to do as good of a job. Even though there's people who are more ethical than him, but he seems like a nice guy. Um, so, and a lot of those episodes are on YouTube. That's where I watched it while I was doing my little project. So that's what I think.